Good morning, welcome to another reading vlog. So this week the world is a bit of a mess. Not too bad in New Zealand, we only have 8 cases of coronavirus so far, but I'm not sure whether that's going to end up disrupting my job interview, attempting to get a job process that I'm currently in the middle of, because even though it's not that bad in New Zealand yet, watching the rest of the world, obviously we can see that it can get pretty bad pretty quickly. So I guess this week just keeping an eye on what's happening in the rest of the world. Since I'm not working yet, for the most part, self-distancing, self-isolation is not that different from what I normally do, so it's not too much of a problem for me. But anyway, let's try not to get too wrapped up in the disasters of the world, because that's how you end up getting panicked. Instead, let's talk about reading. So I'm meant to be doing 2 readathons. They both started last week, and I did terribly at both of them last week. So this week I'm trying to do much better, and in fact I started out really well yesterday while I was sorting out my life when I came back from the conference that I'd gone to. I actually made some progress on the readathons. So what did I do? I finished listening to A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison, which was the host pick for the Animal Crossing readathon, and in the end I actually ended up enjoying it. There was a element added to the story, which is one of my favorite elements. I also liked the way that the sisters worked together to solve their curse problem, and so I probably will continue the series and see where that goes. Although as well, I think it did a really good job of like wrapping up the story within the first book, which I read another middle grade series recently and the first book didn't wrap up anything, so I was really glad that this first book really was a story in and of itself. You don't have to continue the series. You could still feel satisfied just having read that first book, so that's good. The other book that I read yesterday, I listened to the entirety of Beneath the Sugar Sky in one listen. Like, it's like a 4-hour audiobook. I put it on 1.75 times speed and I just listened to it while I tidied up my house and sorted out my stuff. Listen to the whole thing. It's kind of a weird experience to listen to a whole book in one go, and it really did confirm that that is a really short book. It's not probably one of my favorites of the series. I'd give it 3 stars. It's okay. I'm not going to go into the details of what either of those books are about, because check out my wrap-up if you want more details at the end of the month. But regardless, I spent a lot of yesterday listening to audiobooks, and so I feel a bit caught up on the readathons, even though I've still got a lot more to listen to. I've also started listening to the audiobook of Illuminae, which I'm enjoying, although I still think I prefer the physical version to the audiobook version, but we'll see how I feel as we go along. If you don't know about Illuminae, it is a book that's told in multimedia format, so the audiobook of that is a little bit strange, but we've got these 2 teenagers who've just broken up when the illegal mining colony that they live in is attacked, and their whole colony ends up on the run through space from another ship. And then things get even worse. So that's about a 10-hour audiobook, and like in my deluded state, I'm going to try and finish that off today, maybe tomorrow. I still also have the audiobook of Elantris to read, which is like a 20-hour audiobook, so like if I'm going to finish off everything for the audiobook readathon, I do need to get through these things. So physical book wise, these are the books that I need to read this week. I did start Chosen, but then I put it aside to start Come Tumbling Down, because this is due back at the library today, which is why I hurried reading Beneath the Sugar Sky last night so that I can finish this today. I have actually read, I think, about 50 pages, and it's only like a 200-page book. Yeah, 200 pages. So I'm going to finish this off today, even though I'm trying to do a bunch of work stuff today as well, so I'm not sure when I'm fitting that in, but it's due back today, so it's going to be read today. And then I'll finish off Chosen, and then I will move on to Anansi Boys by Neil Gaiman. This is a thick one. This is the one I'm probably the most scared about. But I think if I read all of that, I'll have completed all the readathons. It seems like a lot to read, as well as sorting out job stuff and life stuff. But I'm probably not going to leave the house very much, except for like to do some running and stuff, so I should be able to get a decent amount of reading done. Let's see how we go. Okay, so I just finished Come Tumbling Down by Seanan McGuire, the 5th book in the Wayward Children's series. And I think I'm probably going to give it 2 stars. I have a lot of thoughts about it and why this gets 2 stars when I love like the alternate books, the ones that are about the portal worlds. I love those so much, and these I don't enjoy, and there's a lot of reasons for it. So I think I might do a separate review and talk a bit about all the reasons. But basically, like, you're halfway through the book before you even get back to the moors where they're meant to be saving the day, and then even that action bit doesn't happen till right at the very end. Just most of the time, not much is happening. So much of what is happening is unnecessary to the story. The characters are saying things that don't really fit their characters, just clearly something Seanan McGuire wanted to say. I don't know. It's a bit disappointing, really, although I knew that I probably wouldn't like that one as much because I like the portal world ones better. Or more specifically, I like the ones where people are discovering their portal worlds better, because you do go to the portal worlds in these questy ones, just not as much. Anyway, I'm struggling. For some reason my arm is weak today and I'm struggling to hold this camera up. I'm going to go around to my sister's and we're going to try and convince her cat to help me film a video. So we'll see how that goes. So, I just had a phone call from the main company that I have been interviewing with, and essentially because everyone's working from home, they kind of just want to put things on hold for a couple of weeks to see whether the world explodes. I understand probably not a great time to be hiring people, really not a great time to be trying to find a new job. So I mean, that's on hold. I do also have another job possibility, but I'm not sure if that's going to work out either at the moment. I mean, I guess it's fine. I'll be able to play some Animal Crossing when it comes out. I'll be able to read lots of books. I got some more time to do my stuff, but I really wasn't thinking it would take me this long to find a job. Stupid virus is not helping me. Anyway, other than that, I did read a little bit more of Chosen last night, but not very much because I was so tired. I just fell asleep. I do think that I've finally got it into my head who's who, so that's helping. But everything that's happening at the moment just seems quite low stakes, so I'm not too engaged. The other book that I am reading is I'm listening to the audiobook of Illuminae, which I am really enjoying. I wasn't that sure about the audiobook format, and I do think you miss out on a lot through the audiobook format because there are a lot of pictures in the book. I suspect that all the people who say that you should listen to the audiobook and read the book at the same time are correct, but I'm not doing that. I'm just listening to it. I do think it's making certain parts of the story a lot more emotional, although that could also be the fact that in Illuminae there is actually a pandemic happening. Kind of relatable, right? So I think maybe I'm just feeling a bit more emotional about some of that stuff because I can relate to it a little bit better at the moment. Wow, that's not something I was expecting to be able to relate to. At least coronavirus isn't making people be murderous. Not yet anyway. So other than that, I just filmed a couple of videos which I should edit together. I'm also still trying to, before I get a job, finish sorting out some of my house stuff. So I started clearing out my other wardrobe and trying to do some gardening, but I promise you I am the worst gardener in the world, but at least I can clear out some of the weeds and then work out where to go from there. Haha, okay, so my package arrived and I know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be the new Animal Crossing, and it's kind of annoying because my Switch hasn't arrived. So I ordered Animal Crossing and I ordered myself a Switch at the same time because you can't play it without a Switch. But they don't have any stock of the Switch, so now I have a game that I can't play. Perfect. Hang on, let me set you up. And that light is a bit funny, isn't it? Like, No, I'm standing up. My desk is actually a standing desk, but I don't use it as a standing desk too often. But if I end up working from home more soon, then I might. Anyway, let's open up this game. Even though I can't play it, I can still look at the packaging and have the Animal Crossing feels, I guess. Ooh, it comes with these posters. And here's the game. It's so little and cute. I forgot about how little and cute Switch games are. It's like, look at it. It's tiny. Well, that's super cute. I believe, according to their website, it says that it's going to take until March 31st for my Switch to turn up, which is a little over a week. It'll probably take like 2 weeks for the Switch to turn up. And I mean, hopefully by then I'll have a job. So I've been talking to this other job possibility, and they say they probably want me. They want me to come in to talk to some people next week, but they probably won't be ready until the middle of the week, and I'm just unsure where the world is going to be at by the middle of the week. So the problem with the virus is because the growth can be so exponential, it doesn't take very long for things to get crazy. So at the moment, we've only got 28 cases in New Zealand, and we've just closed our borders, so nobody except for citizens and residents are allowed to come in, which should like flatten the curve, slow the growth, which is 100% the right thing to do. But what it does mean is that potentially it like drags it out for even longer. So from a work perspective, I'm not really sure. I'm kind of concerned that by the time I get a job, everyone's going to be working from home. So either I don't get a job, in which case I won't have any money. I'm going to have to be really careful until this whole thing rolls out. Or alternatively, I'm going to have a job. I'll be fine with money, but I'm going to like have to work out how to be a coach and help people improve and look after people without ever having met them in person. Anyway, we can't possibly know what's going to happen, so we just have to wait and see. Reading wise, so I've been reading Chosen. It's a little bit weird. Like, I feel like there's some inconsistencies because our main character, Artemis Athena, has grown up in the Watchers Academy, but right now she's having a dream where she's talking to Faith. She doesn't know who Faith is, and like, it doesn't make sense. There's no way that she wouldn't know who Faith is. The Watcher Academy would know about Faith. They'd have to. It just doesn't make sense. And there's a bunch of other stuff that she doesn't know about that I just feel like the Watcher Academy would definitely know about. That said, the big bad demon in this book, he's hilarious and I love him. In quite a dark way. So there's this bit where he pulls out someone's eyes, and then I probably won't be able to find the tab about it, but oh yeah, here it is. He pulls out this person's eyeballs and then he says, "Ruined. I cannot see through these. Everything gets ruined." And I love it. And then there's all sorts of eyeball jokes after that, and it's hilarious, even though it's kind of icky at the same time. But if you like that kind of humor, then you might like this book. A lot of the things Athena does are really stupid, but that said, like in the original Buffy series, a lot of the things that Buffy did were stupid, and so the plots aren't always that sensible, so this isn't exactly that different from that. So I'm enjoying it okay-ish, I guess, overall. I'm nearly finished. I'm going to finish it straight after this, probably. And the other things that I've been doing, so I finished off Illuminae. I really enjoyed it. I think I'm going to have to listen to the rest of that series in audiobook form as well. I've already read the whole series before, but listening to it's definitely a different experience, and I enjoyed it. So then I got to the last book that I need to read for the audiobookathon, and it's Elantris. And I've been saying it's a 20-hour audiobook. No. It is a 30-hour audiobook. So far I've managed to listen to 7 and a bit hours. I think technically the audiobook readathon finishes tomorrow. I could argue that if I go based on someone else's time, like UK time, then I get myself an extra day. So then I'd have Sunday as well, but I'm still not sure whether I'll have time to finish this. I am going to probably go to Jason's tonight. It should be fine. He told me I had to stay 2 meters away, but we'll see whether that happens. I don't know. I am enjoying Elantris, of course, because it's one of my favorite books. The audiobook is great. It's just a great story. I love how everything's coming together, and I'm really enjoying like Readathons' leadership style when he comes into Elantris and he has to work out how he can make things better. I just love it because it's such a difficult situation, and I love seeing people in really difficult situations overcome that and figure out how to make things better. Kind of the situation we're all going to be in soon, so it's inspiring. Anyway, I feel like I just talked for way too long for a vlog. I'm going to go and finish off Chosen. It's a really rainy day, but probably watch lots of Netflix with Jace tonight, and then I don't know what's going to happen from there. Good morning. So I actually, I've put on some makeup so I don't look too bad, but I feel so tired. My neighbors decided last night to have this bad karaoke party, which was annoying because I had to listen to it until midnight. But also annoying because I was just picturing them passing around the slobbery microphone and why are people doing such stupid things? Because they're people. Anyway, then this morning, just before 6 o'clock, my neighbor cat decided to run down the little pathway that's right outside my bedroom window. And he often runs down there, but normally he does it all light and graceful. But this morning he decided to be like a heffalump and be like, pum, 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 pum. It woke me up. And so I haven't had much sleep. And now it's Sunday. What is happening today? Mainly trying to keep my head together despite all the dramas of the world. I think I'm going to try and film some videos, which is why I did this. Primarily TBRs. I need to do my TBR machine for April and then work out what I'm going to read for the owls in April. I was actually planning for the owls to rely on the library to get some of the books that will meet the prompts, but unfortunately the libraries and the art galleries are now closed until further notice. So we'll have to see what I can get in ebook and audiobooks, I guess. I really wanted some short graphic novels, but I guess I can possibly read them on my iPad. Other than that, I did finish off Chosen, and in the end I was a bit disappointed. That demon, the big bad that I was talking about that I really liked, the final battle, it seemed like for most of the battle he was just standing around while they had other dramas, and there was so much going on, but it was very incohesive? Is that even a word? Anyway, a bit disappointed in the end, but overall I think it was fun. You just have to not take these books too seriously, and then they're kind of fun. So I gave it 3 stars in the end, but it was just made it in there. So after that, I pretty much got 2 books left for the Animal Crossing Readathon and the Audiobookathon. However, both those Readathons are officially finished now, so I guess I didn't quite make it. But I'm going to try and finish off the books today, even though I think that's kind of impossible, but we'll try. So, audiobook, I'm listening to Elantris. Annoyingly, over the weekend while I was driving to Jason's and going to the stupid supermarket, I wanted to listen to my audiobook, but Audible kept crashing. Why? So then there was hours of time that I could have used for listening to my audiobook. And I'm listening at 2 times speed, so I could have got through heaps, but no, I didn't get through any. So I've got 19 hours left. Even at 2 times speed, that's still 9 hours. Do I have 9 hours of audiobook time today? Probably not, but we'll see what happens. Then also I started Just Anansi Boys by Neil Gaiman. So far we're following this guy named Fat Charlie, whose deadbeat dad, who always embarrasses him, has just died, and so he's traveled over to America to go to the funeral. And there seems like there's something very strange about his father. I believe this is going to get into Spider Gods, so I'm waiting for that to happen. And I guess that's everything for today. Not much else going on other than the obvious, which I'm not going to talk about anymore. I'll probably check in at the end of the day and we'll see how far we got with reading those things. So I've been editing this vlog as I go along, and I've just had a glitch with iMovie, which means I have to re-edit the whole thing. That's really annoying, but never mind. At least I didn't lose all the source files, I guess. Reading wise, so it's Monday morning now. I was going to update last night, but I just kind of fell asleep reading Anansi Boys. I'm still not that far in, like 100 pages in nearly. I am really enjoying it. It's basically there's this spider god, and then when he dies, his sons end up meeting, and one of them is very strange. So I'm excited to learn more about it. I'm actually really enjoying this, which is lucky because I know, even though I really like American Gods, I was trying to remember what are the other things I read by him that I didn't like. One was Neverwhere, and there was another one I'm sure that I didn't really like, but I can't remember what it is. I need to look it up. But regardless, I was a bit worried I wouldn't enjoy this, but so far I'm really liking it. So that is lucky. I guess I'll have to try and finish it off in the following week. And then as far as Elantris goes, so I've got 13 hours still to listen to. Oh, and I've just remembered that I should not be listening to it today because I've got another book due back at the library. But anyway, I'm really enjoying my re-listen of Elantris. I think re-listening to it, you pick up on so many more of the clues about what's really going on. As well, like I know that Brandon Sanderson eventually plans to make this into more like a trilogy, and I feel like there's a lot of hints about where that trilogy might go. Knowing a little bit about Brandon Sanderson now, and also knowing a little bit more about the Cosmere since I've been reading the Stormlight Archive, it just gives you like more context about what's going on in this book. So I'm really glad that I've reread it. I can see how things are like building up for what actually happens to happen, which I know when you first read it, like it's kind of a big, like there's big reveals that feel shocking, but they also feel kind of satisfying because he's littered all these clues throughout it. So when it happens, it's a surprise, but it's like a sensible surprise, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'm really enjoying my reread of it. I am going to end this vlog here. So as always, it's been fun hanging out with you guys this week as our world turns into a somewhat different place. I hope that you're all keeping safe, looking after yourself, and trying to have a good time regardless. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.